Good morning, everyone. I'm Nifat Kibal, project analyst in the organization of the Brazilian Agency for Cooperation. Welcome you all to our webinar. Before starting, I'd like to tell you that we'll have participants from Brazil, Latin America, the Caribbean, Africa, and Asia. That's why we have simultaneous translation into Portuguese, English, and Spanish. I ask the participants that if you want translation, please check the globe icon on the bottom part of your screen, click them, and select the language to hear. To facilitate the translation, I ask the speakers to speak slowly, and when they use an acronym, to mention that in full. Please, all panelists, turn off your mics if you're not speaking. Other than that, I inform that this webinar will be recorded and will be available at our YouTube page, the page of the Ministry of Social Development. That is part of the World Program of Food, if you want to disclose or watch it again at another point. Once again, good morning. I'm honored to moderate this panel here and to be with you today, talking on behalf of the Lab of Innovation and Public Policies for Food and Sustainability, aiming at identifying, selecting, and labeling new experiences in the Global South related to the public policies, whether national or local, contributing to the promotion of healthy and sustainable food systems. And now I'd like to talk about the dynamics of this event. We'll have an opening session with representatives of the three parts of the project on this trilateral cooperation to foster actions of food security in different situations of innovation. And we'll have the presentation of the platform and how you submit experiences. Then we'll have a final moment for the Q&A session. And the questions may be asked via chat or at the proper moment of using the Q&A button. And we have the finish of the button. Now I pass on the floor to the organizer of the food program in Brazil for his initial words. Please, Mr. Daniel. Thank you, Rifachi. I'd like to greet all of you, ladies and gentlemen, following us. I'd first like to greet our partners, our dear Lilian Reinhold, National Secretary of Food Security and Nutrition of the Ministry of Development and Social Assistance, Family and Fight Against Hunger of the Brazilian government. I'd like to greet our director of the Brazilian Cooperation Agency of the Ministry of International Affairs, Ambassador Maria Luisa Lopes da Silva, and tell you that today is a very special day. It's special because we are launching a project that, as I said, of trilateral South-to-South cooperation entitled the Project of South-South Cooperation to Foster Actions of Food Security Actions and Nutrition in Different Food Environments. And we suggested the name New Health, New Inovação. This is a project that is being carried out since this January, in partnership with the Ministry of Social Development and the Brazilian Cooperation Agency and our Center of Excellence Against Hunger in Brazil. The main goal of the project is to strengthen the policies and programs of countries in the Global South so that they can promote healthy and proper nutrition, stimulating the intersectorial approach besides supporting the construction of food systems that are more resilient to climate changes. I'd like to emphasize that as part of the activities for this project, we've established a lab of innovation of public policies for sustainable and healthy food systems that we call AlimentaLAB. The goal is to identify, select, and disclose innovative experiences of Global South countries related to local or national public policies contributing to the promotion of healthy and sustainable food systems that can be a reference to different contexts. So everything that the Global South countries ask today are innovative experiences and trying to adapt them, and so that we can promote it to them and help them put it into practice all the experiences. Therefore, during the year 2025, we will have 4 webinars. This one is the first one, so that we can spread and share the good practices and contribute to the strengthening of the food security and nutrition programs and the promotion of the South cooperation. Therefore, I'd like to emphasize that the project Inovação reinforces our commitment in the Excellence Center to support the Global South countries, mainly in strengthening public policies for food security, with sustainable food systems and with the climate resilience. It's quite important currently. Also to promote interchange and sharing solutions via our South-South cooperation, and generating links to support public policies and push innovative solutions, mainly those promoting food and health, healthy food and fighting hunger and sustainable development. It's very important for us to emphasize that this program creates links. It doesn't create walls, it creates links, bridges. And this is the solution for us to develop a healthier and more equal and peaceful world. So this is the official launch of AlimentaLAB, that is supposed to be a lab of innovation in public policies. It comes with a platform to identify, acknowledge, and spread the experiences that are successful in strengthening food systems. So to summarize, it is a collective space. It's collaborative of learning, trying to inspire the public sectors and researchers to build adapted solutions to the local realities. The lab is also a tool so that we can build more sustainable, fair, and resilient pathways, focusing on people and the environment and facing the climate changes. Therefore, I'd like to invite you, ladies and gentlemen, to engage in this project, share experiences and interchange knowledge, and build together solutions to impact positively the food security and the food systems in our territories. So together, let's create innovative environments to face the challenges of nutrition and food security in the new times. We'll have a lot of challenges, but I'm pretty sure that we can do it together. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Daniel, for your words. This is quite a strong idea in the South-South cooperation. So as we can see how we can interlink our countries and learn with each other. Now I pass on the floor to Ambassador Luisa Lopes da Silva, that is the director of the Brazilian Agency of Cooperation. Thank you, Ipachi. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I greet Ms. Lilita Hao, the National Secretary of Food Security in Brazil, in the Ministry of Development and Social Assistance, Family and Fighting Hunger. That is one of our most special partners with which we deal about so many topics, and we are always considering everyone's abilities in this sense. And Mr. Daniel Balaban, that is from the World Program of Food here in Brasilia. It's a privilege to work with you and tell how we can multiply the results of our efforts working in a network. And it is a network that is here right now. So we have ABC and other participants all together. I think that among us, we provide miracles in cooperation. And I'm saying that because by joining efforts, it's incredible how we can progress in terms in regional terms, and Brazil now can work with an astonishing amount of countries and a big range of areas. And we are always consolidating everything that was done and opening new fronts. So the work that we carry out with the Ministry of Social Development is the consolidation of that and always progressing and sophisticating this work. Today is an interesting day for us to talk about the South-South cooperation when we see the countries from the north, the European countries, dedicating to food security. And we see that we have a huge percentage of people in need. And to us, it's a privilege to have this network of partnerships because we respect the realities at which they are exposed, but we have the reasons to depend on our own cooperation. And with all these decades of learning, it is a pleasure to see how much we progress. The idea of South cooperation that deals with the developing countries, it was only an idea in the 70s. But then it grew, and today, to us, it is something that makes us proud of, in terms of what we could build in a strong way. And it's also interesting to see that our cooperation is spreading to many areas. And we can see that when we have visitors here, we show about 100 areas of the Brazilian cooperation. Okay, that's true, but it's also true that the areas with the social bias are and have always been and will probably will be for a long time the priority. And the areas where we have the biggest amount of inhabitants and problems and where we put the greatest effort. So here we are talking about food security, agriculture, family agriculture, education and professional learning, healthcare, public healthcare, water, sanitation, water security. So these are still the big topics of discussion, although we have areas that are quite sophisticated with high technology, but in fact, in our South cooperation, this topic is relevant and predominant, but in these basic characters, they are sophisticating, which is interesting because we keep working month after month in this topic, and we are having more and more developed conversations in this sense. So this lab that we are launching, this platform, is a sophistication of the way we work on a basic and mandatory area that is a human right, that is more and more consolidated, in which we know it's not our obligation to do everything to spread the good practices and to learn as well. So in this project today, Brazil is not only spraying, it's spraying and learning. We want to benefit the most from the experiences that we have in public policies on food systems that are healthy and sustainable, and we have to learn with the other countries. So we are here not to teach, but to share and to learn. And this is quite an interesting notion because we have all something to learn and we all have a differential and we have to overcome specific challenges regarding the weather and problems on the territory and security and financial problems. So each one of the countries has and will have different challenges and peculiarities, and each one had to adapt somehow. So we hope deeply that this platform will result in this huge richness of learning. I can say that 2 years ago we launched a similar platform to this one in the network of digital inclusion. We worked this time not with BNDES, but with the Ministry of Science and Technology. And today we have a platform also to share with you, but sharing digital inclusion discussions on how to include and spread good words and good ways for people to make good use of the opportunities that social network give us, not only for communication, but for learning and spreading knowledge. So these are, let's say, similar topics, and we want to learn and share. So this is a wonderful evolution, and I believe that it started in the conference in Buenos Aires in 78, but there nobody thought that this project of the South Cooperation would in fact uh, fly high. So I believe this is one more proof of the potential that we have with this work. So here we are manifesting our commitment, and we want to use the best way this platform and this lab with everything that we've learned and will learn every day. We learned and we overcame difficulties, and this is an intense learning process. And when we have problems, we have to learn how to deal with them. And this is how we have good ideas. So this is our commitment to share and to always navigate in this platform to know what is more interesting for us to have so that we can have meetings at some months to talk about those good initiatives. So here's our commitment and our joy of being part of this wonderful group that works with so many good ideas and with a lot of professionalism. So I wish you all a good event. Thank you, Ambassador Luisa, for the opening words and to understand how food is in the South-South cooperation and the potential of the Global South to show innovation and to be an essential partner when the North countries are focusing in other activities. So we can think together and develop solutions to our challenges as partner countries. So now I pass on the floor to Ms. Lilian Howe, the National Secretary of Food and Nutrition Security from the Ministry of Development and Social Assistance, Family and Fighting Against Hunger. Thank you very much, Rifad, for passing me the floor. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Daniel Balaban, and all the other representatives of the World Program of Food that is following us. So good morning, Ambassador Maria Luisa. It's a pleasure to be sharing the floor with the Brazilian Agency of Cooperation in this activity, and also this project that somehow is starting today with the launch of this lab of innovation and public policies for the food systems in a healthy and sustainable way, as Danielle mentioned, with this beautiful name of AlimentaLAB. So to us from the Ministry of Social Development and our team that organized with ABC and the World Program of Food this activity, and the lab that we are formally launching today, and that worked a lot for that. So I thank all the team of the Secretary of Food Security and our teams to organize not only activities, but pave all the pathways so that we could jointly create this project with the World Food Association and ABC, something that we wanted for a long time, and now it's not only concrete, but it's worldwide, right, Danielle? So it's a pleasure to be here with you today. This is a more comprehensive project. The lab is a piece of this project of the cooperation, South-South cooperation that is trilateral, and we are starting now. Well, we've started a while ago, but we are formally launching the first activity today. And the project aims at fostering the actions of food and nutrition security within the food systems and encourage policies and programs of countries in our global south to promote proper and adequate nutrition intersectorially based on the perspective of construction of a healthier, sustainable, and resilient food systems facing climate changes, and that can pave the way so that we can reach the sustainable development goals. So I believe we all have joint common challenges in our countries of the global south. And the challenges of our food systems are similar, like hunger, poverty, inequality, food insecurity. And we are facing more and more climate changes, and this project and this South cooperation that we are building, as Ambassador Maria Luisa mentioned, is allowing this exchange of experiences on successful public experiences with innovative technologies and effective strategies to strengthen food security, as we've seen more and more now in the consolidation of the Global Alliance Against Poverty and Hunger that was launched in the G20 and that is being implemented with the support of the Brazilian government and other governments and the organizations and with the organizations belonging to the UN and other partners as well. Well, our idea with this lab is to strengthen the government and the managers, mainly, besides other entities interested or other organizations interesting, so that we mainly contribute to the development of capacities to formulate and implement effective public policies for food security that can be shared from part to part. Our intention with this joint intention with the AlimentaLAB is to have a digital, public and free archive with innovative public experiences to contribute to the strengthening of healthy, sustainable and resilient food systems, improving the public policies. Well, from now on, the platform to submit the experiences is available so that national and local and regional governments and intergovernmental organizations can record their policies, actions, and programs. And the first block of subject that will be consolidated to disclose in this platform is climate and healthy and sustainable food systems, considering COP30 that will happen in Brazil, and the framework of food systems for public policies that we are developing here in Brazil. I mean, food systems and climate for public policies that we are implementing and developing here in Brazil. The agenda for the consolidation of the other experiences of other blocks can be seen in the call for bid that is available in our platform. We want to work soon with the urban public policies and public accounts. This is also very important to all of us and even to the Brazilian government. And we hope that we can work together in the future to consolidate our AlimentaLAB and healthier, sustainable, and resilient food systems. And I finish thanking the partnership with the World Food Program and the Brazilian Agency of Cooperation. And I'd like to reinforce this call so that we can gather a good and vast database so that we can share ideas and experiences to strengthen and contribute to the effort of the countries to ensure the food and nutritional security of the population beyond fighting only hunger. Thank you very much, and let's keep working together along the way. Thank you very much, Ms. Lilian Howe. I think the emphasis in this first block of initiatives that AlimentaLAB will focus, aiming at specializing and calling more attention to climate changes and resilience, and the relation with COP30 is important to mention. At this moment, we are launching AlimentaLAB. Now, going on with the agenda, I'd like to invite Ms. Gisele Bortolini, that is the General Coordinator to promote adequate and healthy nutrition, to present the bid for AlimentaLAB. Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm Gisele from Lilia team, and I'll present a little bit more the details of the call for bid and tell you how we collect the experiences. I think someone has the audio open. Fati, I guess your mic is on. So I think Lilia mentioned that we want to identify innovative experiences to promote healthier and sustainable food systems. This is the main goal of this lab. As mentioned, we want to have all those experiences of this project, and the platform will be on the air for 18 months, and we want a free archive of public policies to strengthen the cooperation, the international cooperation, making all this information available. Well, who can participate? As the goal is to identify public policies, the priority focus is national and local governments, regional governments, and intergovernmental organizations, so that we can identify public policies that are ongoing or successful, that are implemented in the basis of public policies, to complement this archive and inspire the Global South countries to progress by the experience of other countries. So I will detail a little bit more on how we'll have the lab working. We'll have initially 18 months, and we have 4 topics. These 4 topics, at any point, will have experience submitted. So the first one, as mentioned, will be an attempt to collect experiences of public policies of local and national governments that need to have a relation with the government to strengthen the food systems in a healthy and sustainable way relating to the climate changes. So experiences of public policies focusing on climate in the production, distribution and consumption of food, with strategies of implementation and mitigation. This is the first topic to work. The second topic is urban food policies, collecting experiences of public policies to spread the production, access, and consumption of healthy food within the cities in the urban agenda, with experiences of urban agriculture, waste, public and social equipments, experiences in supply. It is all a set of experiences that we want to identify. In block 2, we have a food environment, how to promote environments, whether community, organizational, or household environment, to contribute to the access and consumption of healthy food, thinking in the reduction of nutritional insecurity and all the problems of obesity and nutrition, focusing a lot in actions to foster and promote healthy nutrition, education, and protection related to healthy nutrition. And the fourth topic are the public purchase, the initiatives using the power of purchase of the state to fight hunger, strengthening agriculture, family agriculture, and making this food available to schools, institutions. So these are experiences that the country may have regarding public purchase in the work of the state to strengthen local agriculture. So having detailed the topics, I'll now ask Tena to go to the next slide so that I can explain how to participate. So there will be a platform, alimentalab.prozas.com.br. We'll see the platform soon. The experiences may be sent in Portuguese, the experience may be subject in Portuguese, English, and Spanish, with the upload of images, audios, and videos to illustrate the experience. And we'll also demand the signature of a term of consent, an informed consent to be signed, so that you have no disclosures regarding human rights and healthy and proper nutrition. So in the form, we have the identification of the proponent, and if it's national, international, regional, local, urban, rural. And then we'll have the axis of description with all the 4 topics and the relation with the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, and the description of the initiative itself, how it was formulated, how it works, what is the problem to be approached, the implementation, what are the actors involved, and everyone attending, and the formalization, if we have rules, normatives, laws, standards, all the instruments to make this public policy happen. And other fines, if we have impacts expected, evidence, monitoring, if we have indicators, any result reached, this is also one focus we'll have with the experiences and the learnings. So what are the challenges in the implementation of the initiative? What were the solutions? The component of innovation to identify what are the innovative solutions that the experience is bringing for more sustainable and healthy food systems, and the impact on the population and the vulnerable populations, especially the lessons learned, what is the potential of replication in other contexts, and the items and materials of the experience. So there is an agenda, as I mentioned, during the 18 months, the experiences can be sent. However, we defined a deadline for the experiences to comprise the publication. So the idea is that we have experiences consolidated in 4 ebooks. Therefore, the deadline to send each one of the topics, but at any moment, the experiences may be sent because they will be available in the platform. But for us to have a book to consolidate the initiatives of the countries in climate, food, and healthy and sustainable systems, we wish and we have as a limit the submission until August 31st. So all the experiences sent until August 31st, going through the assessment process and being approved, they can be part of the publication, so that we can use the publication in all the debates to happen before COP30 that will happen here in Brazil. After August 31st, can I send my experience? Yes. It will go through the same process of screening and will be available in the platform in the field to consolidate the experiences. Then we have the second axis. So at any moment, Experiences may be sent to analyze the urban environment, but the deadline for experiences to make a book on this topic will be November 30. So from now on, you can send the experiences and they will be consolidated as of November 30, and they will be on a book on urban nutrition policies. In public policies, experiences can also be sent, but they will be consolidated until April 30, 26 to consolidate, and so that we make that a book. And for public purchase, June 30. In each one of the X's, we'll have online and presential events so that countries can share their experiences. So on each axis, we will have a consolidation in the format of a book and a virtual event and presential events as well, so that countries can share their experiences. So we have 2 webinars for this year and the others for next year, depending on the topic and the time to consolidate the experiences. And remember that at any moment, experiences can be sent and they will be available in the platform. Well, there will be a commission to assess the experiences with the first step of screening, that is an elimination process. So experiences that are not related, that has no link with the governmental institutions are eliminated. Experiences do not comply with the points of the call for bid. Experiences with conflicts of interest in nutrition area, the duplicate ones, and the ones that we only have theoretical reports or only descriptions. In the second step, we will analyze the merit for classification. And it's also elimination. So we will analyze the adequation to the goals of the bid and being in line with the SDGs and the potential impact and the replicability and adaptability to different contexts, also related to innovation and creativity. So for those criteria, we'll have a score with the greatest score, as you can see, to replicability and potential impact and innovation. So all experiences will go through this assessment and scoring process. So in this phase, each one that is not eliminated is approved, but there will be a classification related to these points of the call to identify innovative experiences, easier to replicate with a greater potential of impact. And just to finish, as I mentioned, we have all the experiences related that will be launched and disclosed in the AlimentaLAB platform, and there will be publications about the good practices and promotion of food systems. So we have 4 publications with 4 big topics: food systems and climate, urban food agenda, environment, and public purchase. So the best experiences will be presented in virtual and presential events organized within this project, and some initiatives can be implemented as a pilot in partner countries, strengthening the international cooperation regarding the Global South. Next one, and with that I finish, and I thank you all participating here. And I'd like to say that I'm pretty happy to be here today, and it's quite a nice moment for PNA, ABC, and BNDES to launch this platform to foster the cooperation, the South-South cooperation, so that we can improve our public policies with experiences that are already happening in other countries. And to support all countries to improve their work as well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Gisele. I think the presentation on how our lab works is quite interesting. And all countries interested in sharing their experiences, they should feel engaged to share that in our platform. So now I pass on the floor to Ms. Tainara Dias, that is the technical assistant of rural development of the group against hunger, to explain how the platform works and the step-by-step to submit the initiative and experience in AlimentaLAB. Good morning, good
Bom
afternoon,
dia, boa tarde a
everyone.
todos.
I'll have
Falando
a
sobre o
more
que vai ser
practical
a atividade
presentation
dessa
here
manhã
because
para
I'll
vocês,
show
como
how the
que vai
platform
funcionar a nossa
works.
plataforma.
So as Gisele
Como a
mentioned,
Gisele trouxe, a
we
gente já
have a
tem
QR
o
code
QR
guiding
Code, que vai
directly
linkar
to the
diretamente
platform,
para a
and we have our
plataforma, e também
website,
temos o nosso site, que é o
alimentalab.prozas.com.br.
alimentalab.prozas.com.br.
And
A partir do
whenever
momento que
you access
você
the platform,
acessar a nossa
you face
plataforma,
this
você vai
page
localizar esta
here. And
página aqui,
here
né?
you have
E você, para quem
AlimentaLab
preferir da
platform
plataforma da
with this
AlimentaLab,
button
e
here
aí
in
tem
the
esse
beginning.
botãozinho aqui logo no início,
And
para
when
você
you
clicar
click
sobre
this
isso.
button,
Ao clicar aqui,
it will
ele vai
ask you to
solicitar que você
access the
acesse a
platform.
plataforma por meio de um
So
login.
if
Então, se
you
você já
have
possui um
your
cadastro dentro da
subscription there,
plataforma
just
Prozas, é
log
só
in.
realizar o seu login.
Otherwise, it is
Se
necessary to
não, vai
create
ser
a
necessário que você
profile so
crie um
that you can
perfil
enroll in
para
the
que você possa
platform.
se inscrever dentro da plataforma.
It will
Imediatamente
immediately
ele vai
take
utilizar
you
para
to the
essa
page
página aqui,
where you
onde você
have
tem a
your email,
definição do
create
e-mail,
a
a senha
password, and
e
define your
definir a sua
nationality.
nacionalidade.
If
Para
you are
aqueles que
not
não são
Brazilian, you
brasileiros,
don't need
não é
any kind of
necessário comprovar
document.
nenhum
But
tipo de
if you are part of a
documentação.
Brazilian
Mas se você faz
institution,
parte de uma instituição brasileira e vai fazer o seu
and if
cadastro,
you are
é um
an
cadastro de pessoa
individual, you
física,
need
por
your
exemplo, você é
individual
vendido aqui,
taxpayer number
tem esse
here. So
cadastro.
then you
E aí
have
embaixo você precisa
identification of
colocar
your
e
profile.
verificar um pouco do seu
And then there
perfil.
are some
E aí existem
categories that
algumas
you may
categorias
select
que você
in our
poderá
profile,
selecionar.
like
Você
legal
tem como pessoa
entity,
jurídica, fins
NGO,
lucrativos,
profitable
com fins
company,
lucrativos, grupo
collective,
informal,
or
coletivo
individual
ou pessoa
person.
física.
And
Esse
it
ponto
demands a
exige um
little
pouquinho de atenção,
attention because,
porque
as
como a
Gisele
Gisele
presented,
apresentou, o edital ele
it
exige
determines a
que você
specific
crie um
audience.
público
So
específico.
if you
Então, se
create
no
your
momento que
login
você
and you
criar o seu
select
login, você selecionar pessoas
individual or
físicas,
informal
ou grupo
collective
informal
group,
ou
you cannot
coletivo, você não
enroll.
vai conseguir
The
se inscrever
platform won't
automaticamente,
allow
porque ela
your
não
subscription
permitirá
to be
que a sua inscrição
validated
seja
in
validada
AlimentaLab.
dentro
So it is
do
important for
AlimentaLab.
you to
Então, é importante
select
que
that
você
via
selecione por meio de
institution,
instituição, por
non-profitable
meio de fins
organization, or
lucrativos
profitable
ou por
organization so
fins
that you go
lucrativos, para
on
que você
with
dê
your
seguimento ao seu
subscription
cadastro
to
na
the
plataforma.
platform. On
Ainda
the
na
same
mesma
page to
página
the
do seu
profile, they
perfil, ele
will
vai pedir o nome
demand
da sua
uh,
organização, aqui é
your
importante,
work,
como exemplo, a
and we
nossa
have here
plataforma, o nosso Centro de
platform, our
Excelência,
excellence
Programa de
program as
Desenvolvimento,
a
como
non-profitable
instituições
organization
sem fins
because the
lucrativos,
platform
porque a
gives no
plataforma não
option of
vai
international
perseguir
body.
organismo
So
internacional,
this would
mas
be the
seria
category
a categoria
closest
que
to what an
mais se
international
aproxima
body
do que
would
um
be
perfil
identified.
internacional poderia se
And then we
identificar.
have the terms
E
of
aí tem
use,
os termos de uso,
privacy,
políticas de
the
privacidade,
laws,
aqui são
the
leis
Brazilian laws.
correspondentes
So
ao Brasil,
we have a whole
então, a
legislation
legislação
for data
correspondente ao
protection
Brasil de
and data
proteção de
use, the
dados, privacidade,
classification, and then
autorização
the
de
end.
uso robô e finalização.
And then
E
they
aí
will
ele vai
send a
te enviar
confirmation
um e-mail de
email. And when you
confirmação.
click the
E
email
aí,
that you
quando você
received,
clicar no e-mail que
they
você
will
recebeu, ele
automatically
automaticamente
refer
vai te
you to the
enviar
login
para a
page once
página de
again, where you
AlimentaLab,
have your
onde você vai
login, your
colocar o seu
password,
login, a
and
sua
once
senha,
again, you'll be
e
in the
vai
same
cair
page of
novamente na mesma
AlimentaLab.
página do
And then when
AlimentaLab.
you
E
click
aí
and
sim, quando você
subscribe, you
clicar em se
have access
inscrever,
to all the
você vai ter
process
acesso todo o
uh,
processo de
to enroll in the
inscrição na
platform. The
plataforma.
inscription process
Essa
is
inscrição ela é
separated in four
separada em
forms, let's
quatro
say.
formulários,
First,
por
you
assim
have
dizer.
all the
Primeiro, tem todas as
information and
informações.
all the
Aqui a gente tem
subscriptions
todas
and
as
instructions,
instruções de inscrição,
followed by a
seguido
brief
por uma breve
presentation of the
apresentação
Excellence
do
Center
Centro de
because
Excelência,
this
que é
is
a
the
plataforma
platform
que
that is
está
hosting
hospedando o
the
edital, a
bid.
plataforma
So it
trouxe
is
por meio
via
da
the Center
visão do
of
Centro de
Excellence.
Excelência para
The
as pessoas terem
deadline,
contínuo
18 months, as Gisele
desenvolvimento do que é
presented,
apresentado
and
pela
then a
Gisele.
little
E aqui embaixo, um
information
pouquinho
on the
aqui de
Center of
informação
Excellence.
sobre o próprio Centro
In
de
the same
Excelência.
page,
Ainda
you
na
can
mesma
also
página,
see
vocês vão
all the
encontrar
files
todos os
available
arquivos que
for
estão
you to
disponíveis
read to
para leitura de
facilitate
vocês, para
the subscription.
facilitação
So
das
we have the
inscrições.
call
Então,
for
aqui a
bid
gente tem
here
o
in three
edital de contratação
languages,
nas três
Spanish,
línguas,
English, and
português, espanhol e
Portuguese, the
inglês.
annexes
Temos o
with all
anexo
the
com todos os
criteria as
critérios de
Gisele
encaminhamento,
presented.
conforme a Gisele
And we have the
explicou,
model
e
of
temos um modelo
declaration
de declaração
for
de
the
cessão de direitos
disclosures
autorais
and
e também de
uh,
confirmação de
the
ausência de
informed
conflito de
consent.
interesse.
And
Essa
as
declaração de
Gisele mentioned,
consentimento é
it's
um
an
documento obrigatório que
obligation
precisa ser
document to be
anexado
attached in
à
the platform.
plataforma na
And I'll
próxima
show you
versão, que eu vou
that
mostrar
soon.
para vocês aqui
We
novamente.
suggest that
A gente
everyone
sugere que todos
reads
the whole bid because we have all the questions answered and all the assessments made to each one of the projects to be submitted. And then we go to the second tab, identification, that you have the name, not the name of the individual being enrolled, but the name of the institution doing that in the proposal. The profile picture is also an obligation, so it's interesting to have that followed by a brief description of the institution. And here we can save a draft, and it's very important in each stage that you save a draft of what you are mentioning, and there is no automatic saving. So for you to have no risk of losing what you have in the platform, do not forget that at each step, save your draft. And then we go with the form to enroll, to submit the proposal. We have two sessions. The first one is regarding the identification of the proposal with 10 questions. We have closed and open questions for the classification of what would be your proposal. The first name that we have here in question number 1 is regarding your action, your program, your public policy, what you are submitting to the platform. And then you can have it at level of country, region, city. You can choose what is the best for your action, program, or public policy being developed. And again, what is the institution responsible for the experience. The second forum in session 2, we would have the results and impacts. And here's where you can explain deeply what is your proposal and what is your action. So we have open questions where you can have all the description and all the details of the action, the results, the impacts, as well as the difficulties faced during the development of your action. The last question in the session, question 19, is where you upload the declaration. It's an obligation, and you will have the informed consent and the disclosures and other information that may be relevant to better understand your situation, with the possibility of including a video of up to 5 minutes. You can send the link, and all this part will be here in item 19. Finishing that, by answering all the obligatory questions, you cannot finish your subscription with any question blank, and then you go to the consent again. We have a whole legislation to protect data here. So here's where you click OK regarding the legislation applied in Brazil, and then you finish your subscription. By finishing the subscription, you answer this question, and after that, the action cannot be undone, which means that if you reach this stage and you click yes, it's not possible to edit your proposal. So if you have a doubt or any document missing, our suggestion is that you save the draft, leave the platform, finish your subscription process, so then you send your subscription. Otherwise, if you say yes here, the platform will send, and then you cannot add anything anymore. Finishing the process, you have the enrollment, the subscription number of your proposal. You can see that. You can download the PDF of the process as well, and everything will be saved in the platform, sent for assessment. There are some tools we can use in case of doubt. If you have a problem during the submission of your work in the platform, with a question that is not sent or some statement that is not done, all doubts and problems regarding the platform, maybe we may have two different contacts via WhatsApp. Please remember to have the information with the Brazilian phone code +55 and the support email. If you have doubts about the bid, you can get in contact with WFP email, and we'll talk to you. And I'll show you now how the platform is here. We have here all the documents mentioned. You can read all the documents previously before starting your process, so you can be aware of all the information that you need and everything you can download. So this is the platform with the subscription button, as I mentioned. Once the proposal is selected, this will be the image you have. And here, when you have your login, you have your email and password, and you can see the proposal, how it is implemented, and all the responses saved, both in the multiple choice and the open questions. Everything is saved here. And then you can download your proposal in PDF format. You have to remember that the platform may have translation for English and Spanish, and all the interface of the platform with the content of the platform, everything will be translated, and you can choose the language that is better to you. I think that's it. Thank you all for your attention, and we are always available to clear your doubts via email or WhatsApp. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tainara. I think you have a very detailed presentation on how the platform works. I ask you all to read carefully the call for bid with all the details that we have before submitting the experiences at AlimentaLAB. Now we can start our Q&A session. You can have your questions asked via chat, or you can use the reaction icon, the heart button that you have in the bottom part of your screen, and select the option to raise the hand. Now it's a question and answer time, so we are available for that. Can you, is there any question?
Vamos aguardar aqui pouquinho para as pessoas se manifestarem.
As I see no manifestation in the chat or in the reactions, I think we may go on. As you saw, you have in the email, you have all the contacts for the platform of AlimentaLAB. So if you have any doubts regarding that, please do not hesitate to call our team to clear any doubts you might have. So I think we can go to the closing session of our event today. So I'd like to thank our cooperation partners, the Ministry of Social Development of Brazil, that is the funders and the technical part of the project for Innovation, and thank the Excellence Center for all the technical support developed in the development of the platform. We had months and months of deep discussions before we launched the call and the platform. So what you see here today in this launch is the result of this joint effort of three parties to launch this lab. So we count on the participation of people who are now participating at this launch, but we also ask you to spread the news to the institutions that are interested, that you believe would be interesting to participate and to submit experiences and good practices in the area of sustainable food systems in our platform, and thank you all for the participation. I think the launch is a moment that we were all waiting for a while. We were waiting for that since last year. We discussed all the documents, all the projects, so everything we were eager for that, and I'm pretty sure the lab will be something very good for the Brazilian government and for us to disclose the global south policies in the sustainable systems, sustainable food systems. So thank you all for your participation. I count on you to spread the news. You have this video available, and you have the QR code to access the platform as well. So I guess that's it. If you want to have any additional comments. So I guess that's it. Thank you very much, and I count on all of you.